These are all things that happen with learning in our spaces.
Yeah, no, I was just going to go along with you on that. Like, we started out very content specific, and you gave us directions to be content specific, yet in the end, we ended up very generic and very broad, you know?
But I don't know if I like the word generic enough, because we've worked so hard to create that community where we are all trying to use those same, whatever we call this.
Common language?
Jargon.
That we do write in mathematics, and we do have to analyze. And so, but it's still very, to me, it's still very content specific. We didn't say that you had to connect your hypothesis with your end experiment, but that's what's happening.
So what's interesting, and I like the way that you honored the experience by saying you just don't want to call it jargon because it's much more than just generic in that. What's interesting is you did start off very content specific, and Mike very specifically said, don't think like a teacher teaching science, think about what a scientist does. So think about what a scientist does. Because when we're working with our youngsters in our science class, they're not there to learn to become future science teachers. They're there to learn to think scientifically about their content, right? And so this youngster is in science learning how to synthesize, for example, or learning how to think and go construct something. The question always is he only experiencing that in that class, or how do these ways of thinking become bridges that he can connect to social studies or to his language arts class? So they're not generic, they're almost like they're these bridges that need to be happening, and they look and sound like very differently maybe in science class or in math class. But at the school big level, these should be happening maybe in every class.
And here, the exciting thing for me is I don't see anything down here that probably didn't even happen today already here at the museum. You know, some to a really large extent and some to a smaller extent. But I definitely don't see anything here that you wouldn't be able to connect to when you were coming with your students in November. So for me, this is kind of, again, a way for us to allow you all to define your path and the types of thinking that you would like to really be exploring come your students visiting the museum. And I think this is a really powerful way of maybe guiding you to what your goals are for that experience. So not to say, I'm going to teach my students about what happened in 1865 in the United States history because there's a painting of it over there, which happens all the time here at the museum. I don't mean to pick on social studies teachers. Oh. That happens every day here at the museum. But instead to say, we're going to focus on evolving, synthesizing, thinking, and questioning with the work of art that I chose in my gallery. So I think before we leave this and package this and sort of put this back together again, I'd love for you all to sort of grab your notebooks. And I don't know that you need to record this whole web necessarily, but I want you to find the pieces of it that resonate with you the most.
And in your packet, by the way,
is there
in your packet is a list that looks like this.
There you go.
You can copy some of this onto the sheet you have in your packet. So you can use this to help you with your lesson plan.